like I said, let's rock and roll with the second elevation call of 2022. Woohoo for 22.
And just so grateful to you guys for taking your time to show up. We want this call to be invaluable to you. We want this to be a way to really have a circle of support as you build your business and really learn to do something new, which is what all of us are doing when we embrace this platform. And this is our second call of 2022. And I'm going to have Hal talk about our top enrollers and our top, and
what do they call
there's
it now?
a new designation, top personal volume, which is
rather than top retail, it's top personal volume.
Right.
Let me talk about that.
Let's do it.
Okay. So as in case there's any newcomers, and we always try to cover this, Ziliak recognizes on a daily basis growth in everyone's business. And a big part of the growth is enrolling new people into the Ziliak program, whether it's as a wholesale customer or a bronze, silver, or gold business builder. And from that day of enrollment, Ziliak recognizes that. Also upgrades, because obviously we have people who come into the business trying products at wholesale, and when they upgrade to bronze, silver, or gold business builder position, Ziliak applies that to create what they call the top 25 leaderboard. And we always recognize that on Team Unlimited because we pretty much always have somebody on there, especially by the end of the month. And then we also now have what they used to call top retailers, which really is about top personal volume product that you've bought. They don't know what you've done in a retail side of it, but they recognize what you've bought for yourself at that time during the month. So here we are on the 9th of January, 2022. And so it's kind of the first indicator of the year. And we actually have 4 people on the top 25 leaderboard. So starting at number 19, Dr. Steve and Jenny Todd out of the Emerald Coast area of Florida, in the Pensacola area. And then at number 13, is that right? 13, Kristen Olander Kristen and Eric out of Georgia, Atlanta area at number 13. And then Julia Baker out of the Evansville, it's not Evansville anymore.
Well,
Mount Vernon, Evansville area at number 7. And then surprise, surprise, but number 1 right now on the leaderboard for the year 2022. So if we cut it off right now, it would be Lisa Bell Henson.
And Hal.
Oh yeah, I'm in there too, but barely. Anyway, yeah, we found ourselves at the top of the leaderboard, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in a few minutes, because really it's just consistency for us. And then over on the top earners, 2 names that y'all won't know, but we know who they are because we actually enrolled them. Couple of golds, and that is at number 4 is Lee Williams, who happens to be actually our dance instructor for our ballroom dancing. And then also a gentleman that we met about a month ago at, what is that called?
At the vendor event.
At a vendor event.
Right.
And shocked Lisa last night, where through her follow-up, he came in at gold, and his name is Tim Monroe. Out of the Sugarloaf Mountain area. What's that?
And then also I want to welcome on her first elevation call, Shaneika Dilka. And Shaneika, it was a referral. She and I did not know each other. She has a very, very powerful story, which you will hear tomorrow night on the Freedom
Where
Call.
is she from?
Shaneika, where are you from? Can you unmute and just say hello?
Hi. I'm from Abilene, Texas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. And it has been a delight, Shaneika, to get to know you. And you made a decision this past weekend that you're going to consider doing this business as well as just using product. So we're so glad to have you on Elevation Call.
She's doing her due diligence, which I don't blame her. That's right.
Thank you, Lisa.
And Shaneika, we look forward to hearing you tomorrow night. So
yeah.
I don't want to steal anyone's thunder for.
Well, actually, we can say a little bit about that. Yeah, I think we should.
I'll let you answer.
This is a beautiful story. So as you're listening to Stephen Thompson tomorrow night on the Freedom Call, as many of you know who've been listening for a long time, Stephen has decided this year in the last few weeks to include a kind of a testimonial moment where he actually interviews people about the results of their product. And so after hearing Shaneika's testimony a little bit. What's really cool is he's going to interview her, which we think is awesome because we love hearing these beautiful stories and hers is amazing. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. It's why we do this business. It is a business, but it's why we do what we do. So it's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. She's amazing. So you guys will get to know her more tomorrow night.
No
and
pressure.
she's like, oh,
Sorry.
no. And you know what, as we start a new year, I think one of the best values of this platform, the Elevation Call, is just we learn from each other. And when we've got team members who are leading the top 25 enrollers, we learn from them as to what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to actually get volume? Because you guys really, this business is about creating and retaining volume, business volume. And so one of the things that we have talked about a lot this past year is vendor events. And when Tim Monroe is now the top of the top 25 personal volume, this is a gentleman who came in at gold. I wanted to use that as just kind of an opportunity for us to share and teach as to how this can happen. And it really started because in December, Beth Plumley and Kim Reynolds here in Northwest Arkansas came to me and said, hey, we have an opportunity to do an outdoor vendor event in December
in Northwest Arkansas.
And I'm like, dudes, I'm not sure about that. Long story short, not only did we do that, but I also was approached in Fort Smith, Arkansas, which is a little town about an hour south of here, that there's a 3-day vendor event, which sounded exhausting to me, but it's not fair for Hal and I to not really participate in what we're really learning and what other people are doing. And so I'm like, I've not done that yet. Let's just do it. And we had Pat and John Poole,
who we love,
who we adore,
awesome.
From that market, that joined us in that. And in that time, we found that the 10-pack of Glow sold.
So that's breaking down your 30-pack, your monthly supply, which, as we know, most of us know, comes in 3 10-packs enclosed in clear bags within the 30-pack.
And we sell that for $50. And we had several people that bought a 10-pack. I think one person bought a whole bag. And then we have been in the process of following up with them.
So on that, we made a little retail profit, which is cool because we paid less than that. That's what you get when you're a wholesale buyer,
Right.
When we can buy it wholesale. And because we had bought quantity at the launch, we had a margin there to work with, but we're fully committed that this is worth $50 a bag,
Right.
for 10 days. And so that's what we did with him and others. Go ahead.
And so a gentleman had walked up and I was able to kind of grab him and talk to him at the vendor event. And this guy is not the typical profile that we saw that weekend, but he was a very fit man, and he was a cyclist and had a corporate job. He was a W-2 earner, so that means he was an employee. But he was intrigued about the hemp plant. And when I told him like what Glow was, what it was used for, that it was the first clinically studied hemp product, he's like, let me just try a 10-pack. And so he bought a 10-pack. And I then followed up with him toward the end of his 10-pack. And I just called him and said, so tell me what you're observing about Glow. And he goes, this is really incredible. I really love the way I feel on Glow. And so I'm like, well, then let's get you a whole month supply. Drove to Fort Smith, did a parking lot deal where he gave me his credit card, and I sold another retail bag of Glow, 30 days. And then after our trip last week, I also followed up with him and said, tell me what you're noticing. And he goes, I had salmonella poisoning, so I couldn't use it for a week, but I know that it's Glow, that when I got back on it, it's just, I feel like it helps ease out my moods. It helps me relax. And this is something I want to use.
He also talked about his energy.
His energy was definitely improved, and, things that we've all heard before. So I said, well, I would love to send you a little overview. And I always say this is kind of a 10,000-foot view of the company, the product, and kind of our story.
Which we presented on the national call, not this last Tuesday, but it's using the one we did last month that we requested from Ziliak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's available to everyone, right?
Right, absolutely.
Right,
We have it
okay.
on
So
our
it's
Team
our
Unlimited.
presentation that we did for the national call.
So I said, here's your homework assignment, and I want you to take a look at this. And I said, write down anything that seems weird or any kind of objections and what you really like about it. And so he texted me last night and he goes, I did my homework. And he goes, anytime tonight or tomorrow, I can actually visit about it. So I taught him to do Zoom. I said, hey, let's jump on Zoom so I could see him face to face. He'd never done that before. And I said, so tell me what you love about Glow. Tell me just, what you love about what you saw. And he goes, I loved the pay it forward concept. I just think that's so cool about the company. And I thought it was just interesting about the absorption as to why this works. It's proprietary. And so make a long story short, I said, so tell me where you see yourself fitting in.
Now pause, let's pause. Hal's in the other room watching the football game while all this is going on. And I knew that she had been in communication with this guy, and there was a little follow-up, which she does with people. And she was in here in the office, and I'm in there watching football. And I thought, I met that guy. I need to go say hello.
Yes, you did.
So I came in and just waved and hey, Tim, good to see you again. Glad you're talking with Lisa, just, that kind of thing. Then I left and I go back to watch football. And then what happened?
So I said, Tim, tell me where you see yourself fitting in on this. He goes, well, I think the only way to come in is gold. And I'm like, oh, great.
Boom.
Awesome. He goes, because I don't know if I want to do the business. He goes, but at the end of the day, I've got a 12-month supply. And he goes, I already have one customer. My sister wants to try this. And so that's really how Tim Monroe came in at gold from a vendor event and became #1 on the top 25 personal volume.
Can I pause and open up? I just want to ask if you guys can pull out of what Lisa just shared some of the really important things that she shared, teaching points, learning points. So just throw out a few words, if you would. Just unmute yourself and then remute afterwards. Anybody got any comments?
Follow up.
Follow up. Who said that?
Susan.
Okay, Susan. She said it, I think, at least
Teacher's
twice.
pet.
Anybody else hear anything?
She's just faster than I am. I said the same thing.
Angela said follow up. I'm sorry, I missed somebody else.
Yeah, Hal,
Yes,
Oh,
actually, Lisa asked him what he's thinking to get him to talk.
there you go. She asked him questions. That's right. Very good, Gene. What else?
Yes, this is Mary Ellen. I heard, tell me where you see yourself fitting in. I
Okay.
love that.
Okay, very good. Any
Angela
other-
Hawkins, did you have something? Let's see. She said yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Anybody
it sounds
else?
like the feed is breaking.
This is
up.
Debbie.
Hey,
Never
Debbie.
assume by looking at somebody or meeting somebody that they will not come as gold,
Okay,
Great point, Deb.
okay.
because they'll surprise you every time.
Starting him on a 10-pack rather than trying to sell the full pack,
Right.
getting them to try it.
Once again, meeting them where their need is, which was a 10-pack. You just wanted to try it. Okay. Anybody else?
I like the way,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mary.
okay, I like the way that, well, it was kind of my thinking. I haven't been able to do the business the way I want to yet. And I still need to call you, Lisa, because I still need help. But he
course.
said that he wanted to go gold because it was a win-win, basically. He had the product for that. Even if he didn't go in the business, he knew he was going to be profiting for himself and for his health, and it was going to save him a lot of money.
Very
And I'm
good.
like, yeah,
Right.
you got it.
That's right. And he already had one person that was interested. So obviously either someone noticed his energy, noticed something about him, or he just openly shared it, just as as we naturally do. Our whole business is pretty much based upon the fact that when something impacts our lives, whether it's this or a movie or a restaurant or a story, we share it with other people naturally. So yeah, that's good. What else?
Anything else, guys? I think somebody had tried to say something.
I'll piggyback off of what Hal was just saying. And it's that relatable conversation where there was that engagement. It was about him and very conversational and easy. Love that.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah, the
Lisa,
other
I
thing,
liked how you
yeah,
the
go ahead.
visualize-
Angie.
I liked how you asked him to visualize where he saw himself. I liked that question a lot because he had to think, and that's when he said, "I see myself as gold," and I really liked that you asked him that.
Very good.
And make note of that really, because Hal, you're one of the best at follow up and helping close people. I think most of us that don't have a sales background, we feel awkward about asking somebody for the sale.
Yeah, and I do, and just as a teaching point, I think that question, especially on a follow-up, not so much in your original presentation, but as a follow-up question, where do you see yourself fitting in? And they go, well, I'm not sure what you mean. That's when you quickly go, well, we got options starting at wholesale consumer. You just want to buy it wholesale, or do you see yourself wanting to get a better value in larger packages, whether you want to build the business or not? And then be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, oh yeah, I saw that. Well, I think I'm a wholesale, or I think I want to do the gold kit because it's a good value. And I've already got a couple of people interested because they've seen the changes in me, whatever they see themselves. So that question, where do you see yourself fitting in? And then the other thing that I've said for a long time, and I often do close either one-on-one presentation or a group presentation, I will say, having seen what you've seen here today, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to take a step forward with this, whether that be more information or go ahead and get some product? It's usually one of those two. But the reason I ask it that way, which is there any reason you wouldn't want to move forward? Can anyone tell me why I say it exactly that way? Because there's only one of two answers they're going to say. It's either a yes or a no. And so when I say it, is there any reason you wouldn't want to move forward with more action, more information or product? Why do I say it that way? Anyone?
To get an answer, I mean, to know where they're at.
Oh, I got Steve. Okay, to know where they're at, but they're going to say one of two things.
Positive.
Do what?
It's positive. You're sowing positive seeds.
Yes,
You're
to one of
sowing positive
those.
thought.
Okay,
You're planting a positive outlook.
I'm planning a positive outlook. What else? Who else heard something?
Patty did.
Patty?
He has to make a choice.
Yes,
and
I
he'll
said
either
they're
have to
gonna have to
reject or
answer yes
accept.
to one of those.
Yeah.
You've given them all affirmative things. They're gonna have to answer yes to one of those three things, and then you know
So-
what direction to go.
So let me give you a little psychology. You guys are all right. Nobody's wrong. But I say it this way. I say, is there any reason you wouldn't want to move forward? It's the first time I've asked them to make a decision, really. And all of us, it's human nature, for the most part, we want to say no to a sales pitch. All of us do. So we're wired to say no first. We have to get at least one no out of the way to be comfortable with ourselves. So when I say, is there any reason you wouldn't want to know any more information? The answer I'm actually looking for is no. Oh, great. Well, then we move forward from there. I mean, it's not a trick.
It's sneaky.
Okay?
Yes, it is.
Not a trick. It's really not. Human beings, unfortunately, for the most part, unless you're Steve Todd, where you're positive all the time, all of us in general, the human population is literally wired to say no first, for the most part. And so that's what we're dealing with. They want to say yes. There's something they're curious about. They want their health to be better. Potentially, they want their income to change. So we got to get that first no out of the way. So I literally said, and I learned this long ago in real estate, is there any reason why you wouldn't consider me to be your real estate agent? No. Okay, that's out of the way. All right, well then would you keep my card, or could I speak with you about selling your home, giving you a market analysis or something like that? And we're moving on from there into yeses. So anyway.
So that's closing. They said we're breaking up. here.
We're breaking up.
Huh. Maybe we can close the door. Let's see if it's background noise. So the other thing I wanted to mention is with people that you don't know, another thing I learned from the vendor event is it's easier if you just don't try to talk about wholesale. either sell them a 10-day for $50 or a whole bag for whatever, 120 to 150. It's just too complicated. It feels contrived. And so it gives them less options, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain the wholesale option on first blush. So that's another thing I would add to what we learned. And, just kind of on that point, just kind of moving on, the other thing that really helped our volume.
So
Yeah.
let me comment. Part of the breaking up is when we don't talk directly at the microphone, I think. Or is it really, can y'all help us out here? We haven't typically had a problem with our internet. Is it okay now?
You haven't been breaking up with me.
No, it's been
Okay.
clear for
I
me
really
the
think
whole
it's when
time.
we look at each other and talk, which we have a wonderful love story going on here, and we like to look at each other.
I'm
But
not looking at you.
I know, but when we talk, we have to talk at the screen.
I haven't heard anything. Break up.
Oh, thank you, Deb.
Thanks, Deb. Patty Bug's down in Florida off the ocean
she's
somewhere. She's probably having a
by the
problem with it.
fire.
Yeah, fire. That's right.
So let me just kind of move on, because the other type of volume that counts for the top enrollers is upgrade volume. And Hal's going to talk a little bit more about this with the rank explosion flyer. But we had something happen that was surprising to me. And many of you guys know I've been in this business for 4 years. One of the very first people I talked to about ultracell is a psych nurse practitioner in Utah. Very conservative state. CBD wasn't legal at the time. She used it a little bit, but she didn't really engage with it. She has not purchased anything since 2018. She, out of the blue, sent me her dad's contact information and said, "Hey, will you call my dad about CBD?" Just this past week. And we had that conversation with her father, who had asked her said, "Hey, look, I'm wanting to use CBD." And she goes, "Don't talk to anyone but Lisa about CBD." And so that literally was a referral from her. And when I finally sent her the white paper, because she's clinical, I sent her the white paper and the marketing statement PDF from Glow. She said, "You know what? I think I want to try this too." And so we were able to go and find her account from 2018, do the welcome back. Wow. And she said, "I want to upgrade to gold so that I can get enough for my dad, his wife, and myself," which shocked me completely. So don't underestimate anybody that you've ever enrolled that you have not had a conversation about Glow, because it's just that good. And having a clinical study, a white paper, on a hemp product doesn't exist, to my knowledge.
Except for with us.
And so just, because people have not purchased from you, just don't let that be a reason that you don't contact them. Double negative. So I wanted to say that was another upgrade that we had. And then we're doing a Glow party with our dance instructor on the 21st. Who he also upgraded to gold to get product
ready to sell. So I mean, that was his idea. He came to us and said, "Hey, I think we ought to have a Glow party here at the studio, and I'll upgrade." And he got the trip, he got the whole package, but he'll have product that he can sell and share with others. And so kind of going to be fun for us to have a Glow party and dance.
Absolutely. So just want to make sure that I got everybody muted.
Okay.
So that's it, guys. When you go through who you've enrolled, whether you started yesterday or 4 years ago, just make sure that you contact the people who had signed up at any point in your organization. I didn't contact her. She just contacted me.
Well, we've contacted her. She's been in our family friend. We've talked to her over the time, but she just didn't have any interest until all of a sudden her dad did. And he was going to buy a cheaper CBD. And she said, "No, don't do that. Don't do that. You need to get with Ziliak. You need to get with Lisa." I mean, that's how it happened, right?
Right. Yeah. And so when we talk about activating your network when you're brand new, this is really the conversation that you want to have with people is, "Hey, we don't have a bricks and mortar business. I can't just hang my shingle. I can't have a ribbon cutting ceremony. I'm going to have to activate my network by either a launch call. I'm going to call people on the phone. I'm going to tell them what I'm doing and ask for their help in finding a right fit for our client base. I mean, that's really what activating our networks are all about. And because I did that with her 4 years ago, she remembered it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have Hal talk a little bit about how to get Stephen Thompson's cash.
Yeah. All right.
How do you make Stephen pay?
So this month, Stephen came out and announced last Monday night. If you're not taking notes, you might want to on this. I'm just telling you. To me, this is honestly, since I've been in Ziliak, the package of opportunity to, and I'm going to just say it this way. I'm going to say it exactly how I see it. This month, Stephen is putting a lot of enticements in front of us to make your business work. Okay, he is enticing you with a number of things to help you make your business work. And it's costing him money to do it in several unusual ways. We already know about the fact that if you upgrade to gold, or you sponsor 2 golds in your business, or if you come in at gold, which doesn't really apply to anyone here because we're already in, but the biggest business builder pack, which is the most value, and also the one that you can get your money back on the fastest if you move the product and impact people's lives, comes with a great trip. I mean, like everything but the getting there, everything but the getting there. So that's been available for a while, as you know, Reach for the Beach. So that's still available here in January. It was going to close out in December. So that's the first thing. There are a lot of people who will buy that gold kit because they see the value, but they also see, man, I can take a trip with this. That's an enticement, flat out, 100%. That's what it is. But then the second thing that Stephen has offered this month is cash to ambassadors who are everywhere from brand new all the way up through presidential, diamond, everyone. If you will rank to the next rank in the business. And the lower ranks, I say lower ranks, the more beginner ranks, the lower volume ranks is the easiest to earn this cash with. So let's say you join Ziliak, or you have someone, and I want you to think about not just yourself. Please think about other people, okay, for their sake when I talk about this money. So when you just join, or you have someone join, and they then share with 2 people and create a team, a right person and a left person, who come on into auto ship. They buy product, they come on a wholesale or any position, and they get on auto ship. Either you who did that or your new person who does that becomes an associate. That's the first rank, okay, in Ziliak. Now, let's say it's you. Let's say you're brand new and you have not become an associate yet because you haven't sponsored someone on your right and your left teams that are on auto ship. So let's say you do that this month. Well, let's say they both come in at the lowest level, which is wholesale. You're going to get $20 a piece pay for that. The company pays you for helping onboard them. So that's $40. But Stephen, because you've hit the rank of associate for this month, he's going to pay $50 extra to you in your pay. So for associate rank, it's an extra $50 as a bonus for rank achievement. All right. The next, and I'm not going to break all of these down like this, just follow the logic. So let's say you or someone on your team, you help them get to the next level, which is community ambassador. He's going to pay an extra bonus of $100 for that. But don't forget that when you create that growth, you're building your business and you're getting paid for the just general business growth. But there's a bonus of $100 cash. It's built into your pay. The next level is city ambassador, $250 extra for achieving city. And there's a number of people on this call who have not achieved city ambassador. So that would be an extra $250 just for achieving that rank. Plus, remember that it'd be your first time to ever earn the blessing bonus. City is the blessing bonus of getting to pay forward $100. You know, you can take that and put it with your $250 and make your first blessing bonus this month $350 to give away to somebody else if you want to. The next rank is a bigger step, and there's a number of you who this is your goal by the end of February, because we've already talked to you about it. You want to earn the Jeep. You want to hit area ambassador. And that blessing bonus is $500 additional dollars. But remember, when you qualify for Jeep with Ziliak, they start paying you $400 toward that new Jeep. So again, this is on top of that. So I'm not going to go any higher. I mean, regional is 1,000, national ambassadors. And I believe that there are some people that can do both of these this month. $2,000 for national, for presidential or higher, $5,000 bonus pay by Stephen. Now, again, it has to be hit this month. So it's an incentive month. So I'm telling you all that to remind you, not just to give you the numbers. But when I heard this, I said, we got a lot of people on our team that I want them to get Stephen's cash money. We got a lot of people. If they just rank to the next level and they help other people do it, I'd love to pull $100,000 out of Stephen's pocket for our team, broken down in 50s, 100s, 250s, 500s. And the only way that can happen is for each of you to help other people do the same thing. So it's really an incentive month for you to rank and help other people rank. Just think about it. And you can even talk to people about it that way. I mean, and the reason he's doing it makes a lot of sense. And it's the reason that Lisa and I are excited to be on the top of the leaderboard. As you begin the year is really the foundation for where you're going to go the rest of the year. So if you're waiting around for it to get to be warm weather, you know, you just go to work, and this is incentivizing that. So anyway, that's
nice,
that.
nice job.
Did I do okay with that?
Does that make sense to everyone? Yay. Okay, so we're going to move on. I wanted to recognize some of our team members who just continue to really exhibit excellence in what they do. And the first couple that I want to recognize is Steve and Jenny Todd. And we love those guys, and not just because we love them, but we love hanging out with them. Got to see them twice on our last trip. But Steve and Todd, with Jenny's help, created an amazing goals lecture that he shared with us. And how it goes, Lisa, you have got to hear this goals lecture. It's 45 minutes. And so on Saturday morning, we sat there with our notebooks, and I would totally agree with you that this is it's a very different kind of view of goal setting, but I think much more complete and much more helpful than what I've heard in the past.
Yeah, that's your perspective. My perspective is that I sat in on Steve's call,
right,
with some of the people on his team who had committed to him to want to set goals. And he has been working on this a while, and there's a lot to it. But as I was listening to his presentation last Thursday night, Lisa was kind of in and out of the kitchen doing different things. And I was like, this is so good. I mean, I have been since 1991, when I got into the real estate business, I have been in multiple goal setting conferences, meetings, presentations. We had one with, our CEO the other night, and it was good. But at the same time, I was just telling you, this is the best I've ever heard. I mean, it is the absolute best material in a concise, usable, workable. I mean, there's so much really good stuff in it that I thought, man, I want everybody to hear this, starting with Lisa. So I asked Steve for a copy of it, and then Lisa and I sat down Saturday morning, and I listened to it again. She took notes, as she normally does. And I'm actually using this material to get my butt in gear to finish the book I've been working on for 6 years. I literally sent a copy with Steve's permission to my writing coach and said, I want to use this material to set a goal for 90 days to have certain things done. And she accepted that being my writing coach. And so, I mean, it's that usable, that practical, that good. And so we asked Steve if we could make that available to everyone in the recording and Team Unlimited. So I want to honor them, and Steve especially, for the heart and soul that he's put into this, because he didn't just do it, guys, because he wanted to do it for his team. He's living this. He's living it first. He's learned it and living it and doing it. We know that because we talk to them often and we hear it from he and Jenny. So they're teaching what they've learned, and they are now living as it comes to mindset, goal setting. And now he's teaching it to others. And it's so good. I mean, like, I almost didn't want to ask him if we could use it for everybody, because I was like, dude, this is like your material. This is so good. It's so rich. He goes, I just want to give it away. I want people to know it. I'm not charging anything for it. I don't want to charge anything for it. I just want people to be helped with it. And so they're graciously letting us put it out to everyone. And I would just say, do not take it flippantly. Do not take it as just another thing. If you want to achieve some things in 2022, this is the best tool that's available anywhere, I believe, that fits our world, that fits you. So anyway, I could brag on it all night. It's that good.
So thank you so much to Steve and Jenny. Todd, I don't know if they wanted to comment on that at all.
It's humbling to know, we just want to help people. Dale Carnegie said, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And that's just sort of the philosophy of that, is just to help people. We all, I don't know, just want to help people. I don't want to make any money off of or anything. Just really want people to see a way to get their goals in their life and their dreams come true. And Hal and Lisa, you're both just wonderful teachers and mentors. And so, this in some small way helps our team and your team. And that's what it's for.
Jenny, anything you want to say about that?
Well, Steve, his heart is just so big, and he just studies this all the time, and I'm just so proud of him, and I'm just amazed at what he does. And when he says he just wants to help people, that's just such a small way to say he really, really just wants to help people. He's always been that way. He's just such a servant and a great teacher, very humble. He just wants to help people. He wants to help everyone on this call tonight. And I'm just proud of him. And I just pray that it blesses everyone and that everyone, moves forward and reaches their goals this year. So thank you very much for acknowledging Steve, because I appreciate that, because I know how much work he puts into it. He dedicates himself to it. And I really appreciate you recognizing Steve. Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to call on one more person and then we're going to move on. She doesn't know I'm going to do this, but I know Thelma Champion was on that call the other night. Thelma, would you speak to to other ambassadors across the board as to the value of plugging into this?
Sure. Sorry, I have my pajamas on, so I'm not
That's
going
okay.
to turn
We can't
the
see
camera on.
Go to some other people on here I can see.
Well, no, it was amazing, but I've been working with Stephen, Jenny for, almost, I guess, going on 2 years now. And it's invaluable. Not only the goal setting, that he did for us the other night, but more so, just, that whole self-talk, what you say when you talk to yourself. So, the goal setting kind of encompasses some of that. And I can't even imagine starting my day without listening to the information that I've received from Dr. Todd. I mean, every day for my hour walk, I listen to it every single day. And in the morning while I'm getting ready for work. And it's just really changed my whole mindset and self-belief, and not having that negative feelings and thoughts that I would say a lot of us have from our upbringing. So that combined with the goal setting is invaluable. So I'm honored that I'm on Dr. Todd's team, and that, he's willing to work with me, because it has made huge changes in just my everyday life and my attitude and, I've always been very positive, but the goal setting's amazing. And I'll just leave it at that. Everybody needs to listen to it and it's invaluable. So thank you, Dr. Todd.
Thank you, Thelma, to put you on the spot there. Let me just clarify one thing. So Steve put that out there, and of course his team, people that he's directly sponsored and people he's working with are going to come back to Steve and have questions and work with him. But what I told Steve is everyone else who's not on their team, reach out to me, and if about that material, if you have questions about it, if you want to come and talk through it. I'm doing the material, I'm using it, I'm integrating it into my life in several areas, not just with Ziliak. So hopefully I'll have a working understanding. And if I need to reach to Steve, I will. But if you want to take this on, go to Team Unlimited. I would say go to it quickly. It's going to be there, but there's no reason to wait. It's that good, and set aside time to go through it a couple of times, take your notes. And then if you're not on Steve's team, reach out to me and we'll help you.
I'll post it on Team Unlimited first. We don't have it uploaded yet. But the second thing I wanted to do is to shout out to Susan Everett. And Susan, can you join us, just unmute for a second and tell us what you shared with me this week?
You should have warned me so that I could remember,
Nope.
rehearse. You always do.
No.
You always have to be ready.
So I have, with Lisa's coaching, I think I've mentioned it before, that I joined some networking groups, and that was probably one of the best pieces of advice that Lisa could have ever given me, because it's really gotten me out in the public around a lot of people. Because once I left corporate America, I left a lot of my contacts behind. So this week, I've been really working on how I introduce myself, because if you've been in networking groups before, you know that you get somewhere between a minute and maybe, if they're gracious, 2 minutes. But so this past week, I think it was like 90 seconds or something like that. And so do you want me to really go through what I said?
Do you want to play it for us?
No. I don't know how to do that. You mean play it off my phone?
Yeah, just play it off your phone. I think you guys might want to write this down.
Oh,
take some notes.
I forget where I put it. Where is that?
It should be under your notes, your recording.
I could never remember where you put files.
While she's looking for that, let's go down and come back to her.
Yeah, do.
Find it, Susan. The other person I want to shout out to is Mary Ellen, because she has already thought out her 2022 goals. And she approached me about scheduling time to kind of work through them together, just some strategy. And, it's being proactive. Nothing happens by chance in this business. It's like going fishing and expecting the fish to jump in your boat. So Mary Ellen, you did a great job with that. And I also want you to share about the most absurd objection that you got this evening. If Mary Ellen's still there.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, this is Mary Ellen. I did get a first time email from a person that I signed on as a bronze ambassador back in October. And it was one of those very quick meetings while I was on vacation in Oregon. And she wrote tonight saying, could I get a full refund on what I bought from Ziliak? Because I talked to my doctor and they tell me that they advise me not to take the product, the Glow product, because it is not approved by the FDA. So I've been in this business, over 3 years. And it's like, that's a first. I've not had that exact feedback before. So that's why I reached out to Lisa, and it's like, okay, I'm not real clear on the best way to respond to that. So I appreciate your feedback, but it threw me for a loop. But it also supports the feel I had when I was out there, that few people talked about CBD or hemp. It was almost whispered about. It's not readily accepted. And if we got anybody from Oregon, I don't mean to slight you, but that was my experience talking to strangers. Yet I do have someone on my team who was actually the first person I enrolled who lives in Oregon. But it kind of threw me, and I'm still trying to regroup myself as to what conversation I'm having this week.
So
So I'm still spinning.
yeah, well, I honestly,
So good at that.
this is a great question. And if you guys are taking notes, let me just give you some of my thoughts on this. But number one, every dietary supplement has to print on their box. This has not been evaluated by the FDA.
Now, wait a minute. You're talking about all the things at Walgreens and Walmart and
Yes.
at the health food stores, they
Yes.
have to say that on there?
They have to say that on there.
So this falls into the category of
Dietary
being a
supplement.
dietary supplement, just like everything else that's sold,
Absolutely.
that people don't buy, take to their doctor, and the doctor says, that's not FDA approved. How do you know? Well, it says so on the bottle. You know, it's like, oh, you shouldn't take that. It's not FDA approved. It's like that. Exactly like that.
So just
Duh.
be very clear, you guys, no dietary supplement is approved by the FDA.
None.
What does the FDA approve? The FDA approves pharmaceutical drugs.
Wait. Why?
Because they usually have side effects that are
Negative
harmful,
side effects.
right? In fact, here's the thing that just kills me. If you look up the statistics on how many deaths there are every single year by properly prescribed and administered pharmaceutical drugs, Angela Noble knows this number. It's like 150,000 deaths a year. Thank you, FDA, for making everything so
We're not
safe.
trying to beat up on the pharmaceutical world, but the matter of the fact is the reason that the FDA has to prove it is basically it boils down to this. They want to check out what the side effects are because they know there's going to be some, and they have to know the data and the details, and they have to know how to put out the warnings about it. And so that's why we're kind of calling it the ignorance award.
And let me tell you something else, the stats. If you look at the world of natural supplements and you compare the amount of deaths per year from people who ingest a dietary supplement, it's 0. So it's not even a contest, and it shows the ignorance of both the person, the bronze, and the doctor who says she couldn't take it. So those things make me want to crawl out of my phone into somebody's office and slap them around a little bit.
So now we're going to bring that bronze ambassador on and have them. No, just kidding. Sorry, we're not trying to talk. We're talking about the doctor's ignorance, not the bronze, because the bronze ambassador,
She's following her doctor's
She's
orders.
just doing what she's been trained to do probably her whole life, just like most of us have. Lisa,
Doctor's orders.
She grew up in a doctor's home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the way it was. But anyway, does that help Mary Ellen at all?
It does. It was as much a shock to me that I felt like I couldn't immediately have a really good conversation with her, even if I wanted to. But I do pride myself in responding quickly with my initial feedback, so I reached out to her and I said, I'm sorry to hear that. I will be looking at what options we can discuss tomorrow. Let's talk Tuesday or Wednesday. But I kind of left it vague, that I wanted to have the conversation with her, but I wanted her to know I was looking at that. And with it having been October, when I did my initial follow-up call with her, she was going into have knee surgery. So she was going to wait to start the product, and I could respect that. You have to follow your surgeon's guidelines. So she was down on my January tickle file to follow up and see how she was doing. So I knew there was a delay, but I didn't appreciate the reluctance. But I felt like I have to regroup and role play what my conversation will be, because it's a new one.
Right.
And
Mary Ellen,
I had the same instinct, Lisa. I wanted to slap them
us
around.
nurses, like, oh my gosh. But I would definitely ask her if she takes any type of multivitamin, if she takes any type of dietary supplement, if she takes any type of vitamin D, if she takes any type, then it's the exact same category that the product falls in. So just if they say, yeah, oh yeah, I take vitamin D, well, this is the exact same dietary supplement category.
And also,
right.
Again, this is for everyone. Remember, even in these situations, even though we're kind of having fun with this and trying to use it to educate tonight, really, I know your approach will be to ask more questions than you give answers. You're just going to ask more questions and try to continue, because ultimately what it may end up being is a miscommunication, honestly, or some other form of concern. And it's easy to say, and it could be many,
Right.
that she says, oh, the easiest out is I want my money back. My doctor said I can't take it. You don't usually get to take back your stuff to the natural health food store that you bought and used and so forth. So anyway, enough of that. But
Thank you for
thanks.
letting us use that, Mary Ellen, as a teaching point.
All right, let's get back to
You're
Susan.
welcome. We're all
Susan Everett, can you play a story time? Can you play us a recording?
Yeah, again, this is my intro I used, and let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Susan Everett. I'm not in healthcare like all the other ladies at this table. And if you take my products, you won't have to be at their facilities either. I'm an independent sales rep for Ziliak. We have the best quality hemp products in the world, and we passionately seek the leading science so we can continue producing the best hemp products. Because our products are backed with science, we're able to print this on the front of the bag of Glow. Weight management support, promotes a healthy immune system, helps with situational stress, aids sleep during restless nights. Those are only a few of the benefits. In fact, it doesn't mention relief from pain. A couple nights ago, I heard Kayla tell her story. 8 years ago, she was diagnosed with a hip disorder. After 2 hip surgeries and other complications, she was left with being in pain all the time. She was offered prescription drugs, as you would expect, for the pain, but turned them down. She's in her 30s and decided she didn't want the potential side effects that the drugs would cause. Recently, a friend introduced her to Glow. 3 days into it, her pain was gone and it's not returned. That's why I do this business, and that's why I want to help more people. Thank you.
Woo! Drop the mic.
So she shared that with Lisa the other day, and I was standing at the counter when she did. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is great. Do it again. Do it again."
I'm like, Susan, send me that recording, because is that emotion or what? Susan, tell everyone what happened after that.
Well, it was really cool because, it's, there's like 20 women there and each person's giving their intro. But after I did that, it's just like the room was silent for a minute. I started to sit down, they all applauded. And you don't applaud people's intro, but it was fun. It was, because when I made fun of all the people in healthcare at my table, they're all in like assisted living, nursing home care, that type of stuff. And so, they're all good buddies with me, and they all laughed. And so then I basically turned it around with it, and it was emotional. That's the thing. If you can find a way to tell your story in a way that gets at people's emotions, it really gets to them. And I've watched other people and the intros they did, and those were the ones that caught my attention. So I just flipped it back on them. It was pretty cool. It was a drop the mic moment. It was fun.
It really was. And I loved the fact that you used Kayla's story. You third-partied the story. And that's what people related to. And all of us can third party it. So, and again, we'll probably at some point should do, I thought about this the other day and I haven't told you, but we should do a third party story, how to use people's third party stories. Many of you have heard Jenny Lusby. When she got into direct selling years ago, she had no financial story to tell at all. She had no belief story to tell at all. And today, a multimillionaire, over and over again through Ziliak and other direct selling industries or businesses, what she will tell you is that in the beginning, when she had no personal story as to success, she told her sponsors financial story. She told a third party story. And because it was the one that was most believable to her, and the one that could potentially impact more people. So again, we should probably do a training on telling third-party stories that we have a direct connection to. It's especially impactful when we have some kind of connect to that third party. And so it's a pattern interrupt. It's a really, and the way you did it was seamless, Susan. It was absolutely seamless.
So powerful.
So I can tell you've been working with Lisa for a while. So
yeah,
she's teaching me new stuff.
Yeah, I will tell you one last thing too. Out of those people, I had 3 people come up to me afterwards wanting to talk to me about buying Glow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Susan. Well, I'm so proud of you.
What a great story. Very encouraging, hopefully, to everyone.
I want to just share 2 quotes that really struck me this week, and then we're going to stop the recording and we can pause for questions and comments. The first quote is a great man, Stephen Todd, who said, "The action step is more important than the goal itself." So just keep that in mind. Nothing happens without action. And the second quote is, "Behavior is ahead of success. What I do determines my future." And that's from Tim Sales. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic, Lisa. All right, we're done talking.
Yeah, so if you guys have